Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who Reviews, episode number 58. Yes, 58. This we're going back to basically a Doctor I discussed way back in episode 1. Now, if you're really curious though, how long ago was that first episode? Well, let me, no, it's not that one there. Here we go. 2 years ago. Yep, so this is the first Sebastian McCoy story I've discussed in 2 years. You're probably thinking, why would it take you so long to get back to reviewing Sebastian McCoy? I was thinking anymore, but there was other doctors I wanted to talk about, but now I'm back to talking about Sebastian McCoy. Which, yes, Peter David is my favorite of the classic Doctor Who's, but I'd say probably close second is probably, it's actually a three-way tie, because I really enjoyed this particular Doctor, because he was a Doctor. Now, during his tenure when he was a Doctor, which is from 1987 to 1989, because I was born during that time period. That's why I enjoy his stories. And plus, it's late 80s. I love late 80s stuff. This comes from his second season of the show, which was the 25th season of the show. Yeah. His second season, season 25. And also, this is basically halfway through season 25, because here's the thing. Throughout Sebastian McCoy's run, for some strange reason, his seasons were really, really short. Like, I'm not talking about basically like story of episodes. Oh no. No, stories. His first year had 4 stories. Second year, also 4 stories. At least Colin Baker more decent amount. Even Peter Davison did too, but 4? Really? Excuse me. Yes. This story here is the third story of that second season. We have Silver Nemesis, which is noteworthy for one thing. And what is that? Actually, for a couple things. One, it's sort of a elucidative for the penultimate story of the classic Doctor Who era, Curse of Frederick. Plus, it is also worthy for being the final appearance in classic Who of the Cybermen. Now, if you're curious though, with this, am I out of Cyberman stories? No, because I have 3 left. There is 10th Planet, Wheel in Space, and Attack of the Cybermen. Attack of the Cybermen, that'll come really soon. Oh, also, this review plus the following 2 episodes will be basically 3 straight Sebastian McCoy stories. I figured though, why not? I mean, there was actually one I got recently, which is going to be the last one we cover for now. I'll eventually get back to it, don't worry, but hopefully it won't take me 2 years to get back to it. Plus the story, aside from being upset for our story happens in the following season, there's lots of references to previous stories in this one. Mostly Sebastian McCoy one. Like, there's this new tape deck, as they refer to it as, basically a new boombox, that Doctor made for Ace after her last one she had was destroyed by the Daleks at the start of the season. Awesome. And this is strange though. This is the second story set on Earth in the second season, because the opening story did, of course, that took place in the 60s. This took place pretty much in the very month it came out. Well, if in case you're curious, this was released from November 23rd to December 20th, 12th, 1988. You're thinking, is that 3 episodes? Yes, it is. It is, as of currently, the shortest Doctor story I've ever covered. If you're curious about the runtime, the complete runtime, it is 1 hour and 13 minutes. It is really short. So, basically the whole point of Silver Nemesis is the Doctor is one of 4 parties interested in the Nemesis, which arrives back on Earth, first time in 350 years. It apparently, according to Doctor, in the final part of the story, it arrived once every 25 years. The first Norway task, basically, this was 1913. The World War I. That was 1938. Hitler annexes Austria in 1963, the assassination of JFK, and also the debut of Doctor Who, and now here. The other parties are a group of neo-Nazis, yes, neo-Nazis, led by an actual Nazi fly red who was actually a friend of Adolf Hitler's. A Lady Penotra and her servants, and the Cybermen themselves. And you're thinking, wait, so you have a duo, a group of neo-Nazis, the Doctor and Ace, and the Cybermen after a single statue? Well, a very powerful statue that's powered also by a bow and an arrow. The bow ended up in the hands of the neo-Nazis. Somehow it did. While the lady got her hands on the arrow, which was made by some magician, who she killed off in order to go to the future. Via drunken time travel. Yeah, and she ends up in present day in the middle of a cafe. Yeah, and by the way, when she arrives, like, apparently people do notice, like, hey, why the heck is there two people from there? Why do people wear these weird clothes? And, like, oh, there's these mysterious vehicles coming, these things come around. So, and instead of, like, leaving out the front door, they take one of the restaurant chairs and they smash the frickin' window and they hop out. Yes. And throughout the story, they're basically just walking around. They do see the Nemesis, but they can't exactly go near it because, well, there's something happening. Well, as for Ace and the Doctor, they're just basically wondering. Of course, they heard about the alarm clock. Wait, what's the alarm clock? Oh, it's not. Well, first, basically, they have you see where we listen to jazz music. Yeah, this is also one of those times when you watch classic Who, and no appearance by the interior of the TARDIS. Really? Yes, really. The TARDIS does show up. As a matter of fact, it pops up in all three stories. You see it move a few times, but you never see interior. I'm not sure exactly why this is. This is quite baffling to me. You have the TARDIS. You hear it operate. You see it move about. Like, first it arrives. I think it's outside this little outside cafe. Goes of all places, Windsor Castle. Yes, the actual Windsor Castle. When they run into a stand of the Queen of England. Yes, seriously. And let's see. Oh yeah, also it's for this battlefield and inside this warehouse. I'm glad the fact they utilized the damn thing is able to be pinpointed exactly very quickly because Doctor's always had issues driving a damn thing. Yeah, so then of course basically like they arrive at where Nemesis was crash landed. Well, first they go back in time 350 years. See what happened. Well, first they go to the former castle. Look around. We see the Perry Pop. We see Ace Pop Hez, which is interesting. Basically good stuff here. And then, of course, they go back and they see what's going on. They are at present day. And we see police show up at where Nemesis and it's knocked out by this weird looking, look like a sprinkler system. Yeah, it turns out the Cybermen responsible for this. Somehow. It's like this unknown technology. I'm like, when the heck did the Cybermen take time to plant this stuff? That's something quite baffling to me. They said this is some other species responsible for it. And then they have the Cybermen show up after we have neo-Nazis show up with the Doctor. The ladies on the background. And then we see a Cybermen land in their spaceship. Which, by the way, this is present UK. There are satellites that can detect this damn thing yet. And I'm like, where the heck is frickin' UNIT in this whole story? Yes, seriously. There's no UNIT. You would think the Cybermen, one of the biggest threats to humanity in the Doctor Who series, and don't see them. We see a group of neo-Nazis who actually do in fact put up a good decent fight against the Cybermen, and apparently the only thing that affected them was arrows where the heads were covered in gold but tipped in poison. I'm like, that is interesting. And if you think about it, a lot of the Cybermen killed off in the story, you're killed by these arrows. One was killed by one of the Cybermen guns. And I think like a couple of them were killed by Ace herself with basically not explosives, but a slingshot. Yes, a slingshot. They also took time to blow up the Cyberman spaceship. Yeah, also for some reason, so I think the Cybermen basically are away looking for the damn thing. Apparently they have the neo-Nazis guard the ship. I thought that was kind of weird. Like the rating that shit was interesting. Of course, they steal. By the way, this little communications device they have, that's the same one that popped up on Earthshock. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I never thought they'd use that thing again. Like you might be asking, did that pop up in Attack of the Cybermen? I don't remember if it did or not. It's been a while since I watched the story, but I remember this. The story is a lot of fun. Plus, there's a lot of references to Classic Who, that one. So, we see the Nemesis, and apparently the statue. Well, apparently the arrival was sort of a slave. So, like the statue arrives there via just walking. Apparently, the statue was kept in the lady's grave somehow. Oh yeah, the whole story, the lady is obsessed with the statue. She's obsessed with the damn thing. Why? Because she wants to rule the world. The neo-Nazis want to create a Fourth Reich, and what the Cybermen's plan? Create a second Mondas. You think, wait, second Mondas? Well, here's the strange thing. They do at this point in time, it'll have been 2 years in the Doctor Who timeline since the destruction of Mondas back in the 10th planet. Which I think at this point was like the third or fourth time that it's been brought up in Classic Who. Yeah, that story is referenced a few times over the years. Magnet broke. Who would have thunk it? Yeah. I thought that was interesting. I do like the fact Dr. Kate, unlike in the case of Remembrance Dialects, where he brought up a lot of references to previous Dalek stories. This one, he brought up a few, but it wasn't as content heavy as the other one was. At least got praise for the fact Perfect the Cyberman for the Silver Anniversary season was a really smart idea, and calling Silver Nemesis was a really good idea too. Because, well, came in the Silver... Nemesis probably was, of course, Nemesis is the name of the actual statue. So, yeah, this is so fun. And of course, it's revealed in the final part of the story that the lady knows the Doctor's secrets. She knows secrets of Time Lords. Of course, he's like, yeah, I know he's a Time Lord. So after that, don't know anything else about him. And of course, the Doctor's like, I'll hand this over to the Cybermen. Why? Because he has no interest in Time Lord secrets. Yeah, he has no interest in it at all. You're thinking, really? The Cybermen don't? Yeah, they have no interest in it at all. Yeah, that's not the primary focus. They have no interest in doing that at all. Well, take out basically the writer who wrote the recent stuff related to Doctor Who and the Master, which I'll talk about in the future. So basically, the writer was actually called the Space Sled. Yes, there's a lot of running around. Now, unlike let's say the previous major story, Remembrance of Daleks, we actually help the local military. This one he actually tries to, but it goes nowhere. He's like, screw this. Yeah, it's almost like basically they wanted to do it, but they couldn't do it in this story, so... Excuse me, so... Now, how the ship got inside the warehouse, the Cyberman brought it there. Okay. That's an explanation. Now, in the case of the arrow, the lady had all the time. Okay, what about the bow? I think that it's implied that the leader of the neo-Nazis bought it. Yeah, I think he purchased it someplace. That's probably what he got there. I think he probably bought it off somebody. Excuse me. And it's kept in a case that normally you keep small bows in, from what I can tell. That, or I think it's also the same case you keep like a handle for a violin. Yeah. Yeah, at one point he thought he had the bow, but he really didn't. The Doctor had the whole story. Everything gets lit up, and of course you get back to Ace, who's briefly held captive. And Ace, of course, takes the Cyberman, no problem. One of the Cybermen falls off the ledge of this like catwalk and lands back first, right next to TARDIS. Which, come to think of it, that's never happened before. Where you had somebody fall near the TARDIS like that. I mean, not like here's the thing, it was in the same shot. Like, I was surprised to see that. Yes, I've seen a story, but that's quite something. You never see that before, Doctor Who. I at least got handed to the camera work for this episode. This director had a lot of balls, so really good stuff here. And this is a story that, despite I think it's short length, I had a lot of fun with. It was a really good story. And I'm going to give Silver Nemesis a 10 out of 10. It's that damn good. Yeah. Yep, so, yeah, that's... Oh, by the way, this is the 154th story. Yeah, won't be many more stories after this one. If you're curious how much, 5 more. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, get this. The very next story that comes after this one is the greatest show in the galaxy. Yep. Yeah, that's the very next one. Mickey, wow, and you still haven't covered anything from the first season of Special McCoy. You have a lot of Air Doctors, but not this one. I will eventually cover it, don't worry. Though in the case of his first one, I plan to cover a character pops up in that one, her first appearance first, then talk about that one. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Yep. So yeah, that's it particular review. Next up is a Comic Corner. It's on to a manga review, and then it's on to One Piece. Okay, next view. Bye.